Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Did you see that? Did you see that?
Would you like more freedom when it comes to where you stay with your RV this summer? We have actually discovered a way to run our AC off of a standard household hookup. So while we're here moochdocking in Colorado and it's getting heated up, we're staying cool inside. In this video, we're gonna show you what we did and how you can do it too. We are Charity, Ben, Dakota, and Trinity. We decided we didn't want to wait for a life of adventure. So in 2017, we bought our first RV and set off to live a life of travel in the USA. We've visited over 38 states in 3 years and have many more to go. Follow along to learn all the best places to see, RV and travel tips, and much more. Before we jump into today's video, we just want to give a huge thank you to those of you that have jumped in and have decided to support us on Patreon. Your support really helps us to keep videos like this coming to you. Plus, we've got some fun giveaways going on right now for our Patreon supporters. So you can check that out at the link below. Now, it's getting a little hot here in Colorado, actually, which is somewhat surprising. The temperatures here are about the same as they are this week in Florida. Now, of course, we don't have the humidity, but needless to say, these rigs aren't insulated very well, and if you get some sun on them, they're definitely going to heat up on the inside. So staying cool in the summer and having the ability to run your roof AC units when you're living RV life is crucial to being able to have a good time and avoiding anybody getting too hot and cranky. So traditionally, to be able to run both AC units on a rig like this or many other rigs, you need a minimum of either 50 amp or 30 amp service depending upon how your particular rig is set up. Now for us having a big rig, we use 50 amp service, and actually we have a lot of campgrounds that we're going to be staying at this summer that only provide a 30 amp hookup. Now we had this happen to us in Zion National Park last summer where we only had access to a 30 amp hookup, and we did try to keep both of our ACs going because it was 100+ degrees during our stay there. And we're pretty sure that strain of trying to run both of the ACs on only a 30 amp hookup took out the compressor in our front AC, which resulted in us having to replace it while we were on the road to a very expensive repair bill. So that just wasn't fun. So we've actually been kind of on the hunt for an option or looking at what can we do to be able to run both of our ACs when we need them on less power. And we were super excited when we found out about this particular product. So in doing some research, we found out about this SoftStart RV. Now, basically what this does is it allows you to run your AC units on less power. And how that works is when the compressors kick in on your AC units, you see an amperage spike. And kind of the best way that I thought about describing that is if I was in the middle of a field and there was a big rock that I needed to move, I could kind of approach it one of two ways. I could just run full bore and hit the rock with every single ounce of energy that I have to get it to move, or I could gently kind of start rolling the rock and get it rolling bit by bit to get out of the way. So obviously one method takes a ton of energy and the other method doesn't take that big burst of energy. And that's kind of like how the air conditioners work with the compressors when those kick in. So the way they're designed to run from the factory is they get a big jolt of electricity that kicks that compressor over to start cooling the air for your AC. But what this does is it kind of gives it that rolling start. So we're super excited to be able to put these in today because this is actually going to mean that we're going to have better life of the compressor because it's not getting that big jolt up front. It's going to be a little bit easier on that compressor mechanism to be able to give it more of an extended life because it's not so hard on it when it kicks in. So probably one of the most exciting things that I am excited for is this is actually going to save us money in the long run. And I'll get to how that's going to happen here in just a minute. But I want to let you know that we did talk to SoftStart RV because we knew that you guys were going to want one too. And so we have a special discount for our viewers. So the link below will give you a savings on purchasing this. And if you use our link below, purchase directly through them, they offer free shipping. It's actually cheaper than what you can find it on Amazon. So make sure that you use that link below so that you can get a discount on yours. Now, this is how this is going to save us money, and I'm super excited about this. Most campgrounds, and if you've done some campground reservations this year, you've probably noticed that a lot of campgrounds charge more for a 50 amp site versus a 30 amp site, or they maybe have an extra fee per day if you want 50 amp service versus 30 amp service. The other thing is a lot of the Thousand Trails campgrounds will not guarantee a 50 amp site. They only will guarantee a 30 amp site. And so we're going to be able to use 30 amp instead of 50 amp when we need to at these campgrounds, which is going to save us in the long run. The other thing is this opens up so much more mooch docking opportunities where we haven't traditionally looked for those mooch docking, or even a lot of like boondockers welcome, where people will have a household plug-in for you to, boondock or mooch dock at their private property. We've not really looked at those because we've felt like it's just not going to have enough power to run our ACs and do what we need to do. But now this is going to open up those doors. So this just means more freedom for us with RV life this summer and being able to save more at the same time. So we're super, super excited about the opportunities that this is really going to provide for us in moving forward with RV life this summer. We kind of wanted to compare a before and after on these electrical spikes with the SoftStart versus before. So we haven't installed it yet. It's going to get installed in just a minute. My handy dandy cameraman husband is going to be installing them. But right now we've got the generator running and we've got this little power display that we have up here. So no ACs running. Right now we're pulling between 7 and 8 amps with just the refrigerator, a few fans running, some lights that are on, computer equipment plugged in. That's what we're pulling right now. So I am gonna come over here and I'm gonna turn the thermostat over to kick on the AC. There went the spike. Did you see that huge spike? Mm-hmm. So that was a huge spike that happened when that compressor kicked on. And then now it looks like we've leveled off to using right around 27 or so amps, 26 amps. And this is with both ACs running. So front and rear AC is running. Generator's on.
So we should be able to run 30 amps at both ACs.
Should be able to run 30 amps with both ACs and still have plenty of power to run other things. So one thing that you will have to remember is that if you're using like 30 amp service, like we just saw, if we've got both ACs running, we're probably leveling out around that 27-ish amps. Now, because we work remotely, we're bringing you these videos, we do have a lot of equipment that we've got plugged in from time to time. So if you are at a 30 amp campsite and you've got a 50 amp rig like this, and you're running both ACs, you'll just need to kind of be aware of what your power usage is with the other components, and maybe run just one AC if you're going to be running, say, the microwave, or if you have an onboard washer and dryer like we do, if you're going to run one of those components, then just run one of the ACs. We also, if we need to, could, switch some of our components over to propane. So like we could run the fridge off of the propane. We can run our hot water heater off of propane. So we do have kind of a little bit of wiggle room in what sort of components are actually using electricity versus what sort of components are using another power source. So in that particular situation, running both ACs hooked up to a 30 amp with the SoftStart just can maybe pull power from another source for some of those other components to be able to have the power we need to, say, charge laptops or run an extra fan. I think the bathroom fan's running right now. So needless to say, we're not exactly the best at conserving power, but we're getting better.
Okay, so I am going to head up there on the roof and get these soft starts installed on both the front and the back AC unit. What I'm going to do is just take off the shroud from the AC, then underneath the electrical panel is the model number of each of the AC units. So I'm going to go up there, take a picture of those, and then look up the wiring diagram for each one. So basically you just put on the connectors onto the SoftStart and then plug them into the appropriate spots, match up the colors. It's supposed to be a pretty easy install. So good news is that if you can see that RV right there, I've got Charity's dad on call to help me out if I get stuck. I am definitely not a handy guy by any means, but the RV life has really taught me to become handy. It's really forced me to really get outside my comfort zone and just get stuff done. First thing you really want to do is just take the cover off on the AC, which is pretty simple. There's usually only like 4 screws. Then on the side, you're gonna see a little plate, a panel where all the electrical comes into, right here. And then on the back of the plate here is a yellow tag. And then you'll see the numbers 1976, and then followed by the 1976, like on this Mach 15 is E136. You'll go onto the website, and I'll put a link right down below. That website will give you the wiring diagram for the model unit AC that you have. So we now have the SoftStart installed on both AC units, the front and the rear. So what I'm going to do is turn on the front AC, and we're at about 5 amps right now, and we're gonna see if we get that 40 amp spike when it starts up. So turning it on, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, it should kick on any minute. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Did you see that? Did you see that? It spiked to 8 or 9. It didn't go past 11 this time, so that is so amazing. And it's just a 110 outlet, so I'm able to kick on that front AC without any huge spike blowing the breaker.
So we're super excited with these results with SoftStart. So there'll be a link below if you want to check it out. Again, our viewers get a special discount through SoftStart RV. And now we are so nice and cool. We're going to really be able to enjoy the rest of our time here without being sweltering in our RV on those work days, being able to run that one AC off of just the household power here. Super excited about that. So if you learned something new in this video today, make sure that you click that subscribe button and you give us a thumbs up to let us know that you found this video helpful and valuable in your RV journey. If you'd like to see more videos with RV tips and tricks, organization perhaps, you can check those out right over here. And if you would like to see more videos about fun places to go and tips and tricks on how to book campgrounds in those spots, check out right over here. Until next time, we'll see you on the road.